Welcome to part 3 of our program planning presentation. In this presentation, I have the objective of discussing steps 9, 10, 11 of the ABC development plan. So step 9 discusses the sequence of our content or our curriculum. This is also known as scope and sequence. Scope means the content of our curriculum, and the sequence is the order that the content is taught. So how do we go about doing this? This step can include the entire curriculum. It can be a K through 12 curriculum. It could just be elementary, middle school, or high school, or it can be one grade level. Also, this technically could just be a college class too. In learning activity 6.8, you'll actually do this. You'll use the information from our previous assignments and the steps that we've been doing to sequence our curriculum. So how do we do this? You can use the templates provided. You can use the worksheets in the textbook. You can use the tables in the textbook. Again, I have provided you a template to follow, and that's what I'm going to go over now, is the template I provided you. So we have to decide at which grade level each objective that you have already written should be mastered. When should a student actually get to the point where they are satisfying the criteria for that objective that you have provided? So you have to identify that. And in the template, you'll see that's indicated by the asterisk code. You also have to designate when you're going to teach that objective and when it will be worked on. Obviously, that should be early in the curriculum. You're not going to have instruction. You're not going to have something mastered before it's been instructed. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And we're going to use the dashes code to designate this in our template. And then we want to indicate if we ever review any material during our program. And we're going to use the code R, the capital letter R, to designate this. So as a reminder, mastered equals asterisks, instruction equals dashes, and review equals capital R. You can use your own chart matrix, but why when I've already provided you the helpful template? So what this looks like, so you have in your template or your table, you're going to have your each goal. So if you have 5 goals, you have all 5 goals. You're going to have all 3 content areas, and you'll have all 3 objectives for each content area, and you will have your grades listed there. Now in this, I only have 1 goal, 1 content area, 1 objective. So what I'm saying here is that for the objective, the student will be able to identify 5 stretching movements and the muscles they are intended to stretch with 90% accuracy as measured on a written exam. Obviously, this is a cognitive learning objective. This is instructed in grade 9 and then is mastered in grade 10. Don't have reviewed in this particular objective, but I try to put at the bottom of the table a note that's telling others what those dashes and asterisks mean. So you'll develop this through your curriculum. This is a pretty long process too. You're going to be doing a lot of copy and pasting in this part of this learning activity. Our 10th step is developing teaching and learning maps, or TLMs. Teaching and learning maps. This is also known as unit planning. There's some benefit here, is Students work on objectives repeatedly throughout the year. We call this learning over time. And how we go about doing this steps for our step 10 is you're going to pick a year, and you're not actually going to be doing this step in this class. I'm just going to go over how you go about doing step 10. This is just too involved for our class. You're going to pick a year and identify all the objectives that must be mastered, worked on, or reviewed, or like we just did in step 9. You're going to group these objectives into instructional blocks and indicate how much time will be spent on each block. And once you have developed the blocks, take one block and develop a block teaching and learning map. And then the TLMs should have a cell for each class session. List the objectives to be addressed in this block. Indicate how the time for each objective will be distributed across the classes in the block. Again, this is not required for our class. Just wanted to quickly review the steps 10, and this is pretty much what you'll read in your textbook. I think there's a step between the step. I think there's a step between step 10 and step 11 that the textbook talks about. I basically think these are the 7 P's of success, which I was taught back when I was a student. Actually, at the time, the person who told me this was the head athletic trainer for the Los Angeles Dodgers. And he said that the 7 P's of success are proper planning, and preparation prevents poor performance. And I think this is true in my area of athletic training. I think it's true of any teaching that happens. And pages 133 through 139 discusses being prepared. Being prepared by scheduling. Know what you're going to teach. Know if you have the facilities, and know what equipment you have. Have all that prepared ahead of time before you start your classes. Be prepared. Know what you have, when you have it, and when you can use it. Way in advance. In my opinion, this is really part of step 3. It's just bringing everything back in the circle of being ready to teach. Step 11 is creating your curriculum guide for our class. This is after you get approval by me with the learning activity, the Chapter 6 learning activities. You'll put everything together, the Chapter 5 activities, the Chapter 6 learning activities, put it all into one final paper and turn it in as the final ABC curriculum project. Hope you enjoy doing these multiple learning activities to develop your own curriculum. I hope that you can actually use this final project as a PE teacher.